So before I started this stream, I was taking a look at my chat, and a lot of people expect a rant out of me, and it goes to show me just how little you guys know about me. I think I'm pretty predictable when it comes to reviews and my outlook on wrestling and whatnot. Can y'all hear this? I need my own place back. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Amore. Yo. Lower your voice. Turn that down like 3 notches. Turn that down a little bit. Thank you. Damn, it's hard out here for a pimp. All right, so let's get into this thing. I think I'm pretty predictable when it comes to reviews and my outlooks on wrestling. But you guys think that I'm going to rant about tonight's show or tonight's... I don't know what you guys think I'm going to rant about. I don't have a rant in me for tonight because I enjoyed tonight's show. So before I get started, let me lay everything out. If you want to support the channel, I have a link for that in the description. It says support the channel via PayPal. There's a link right there for you. Do it there. If you see somebody asking in the chat, point them to the description. Also, my Twitter was actually on fire tonight. I appreciate it. Link for that is also in the description, and whatever else you want is in there. Not really much. It's real simple. A 5th grader, that's a 10-year-old, a 5-year-old can navigate my description. It's easy. It's light work. For anybody else that gives a darn or not gives a darn, just drop a like, converse in the chat, and do all that. Yo, you be having that thing blasting Kirk Franklin, bro. And you're in there singing Fetty Wap, like that's what we do. Fetty Wap music sound like he crying.
He was crying.
Oh God. Anyway, let me get back to this. Jesus. So, tonight's show, right? I enjoyed tonight's show. I don't know how you guys felt about tonight's show. Personally, I enjoyed tonight's show pretty much from beginning to end. I will say that main event was kind of for me. I can see how some people might want to. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it was bad to deserve a rant. I don't know what it is that you... Hold up. I knew something felt wrong. Put my damn headphones on. For no reason. Okay. I don't know what it is that you guys, like, strongly disliked about that main event. Did it drag at times? Sure. But other than that, that was about it. That was about it. I didn't find a problem with it. I want to start from the top. We're just going to ignore the pre-show. Sasha Banks won because whatever. So we start the match, or we start the pay-per-view off with Asuka. That surprised me. I thought they might have her like in the middle to bring the crowd up from something that they, something that might have been like low, or maybe have her as the buffer. Nah, you can't put her in a buffer spot because she was, featured very heavily. The way the card was structured was very, it was odd. It was different for me. But to start off with Asuka in the match with Emma, I enjoyed it. It was exactly what I thought it would be. You have Asuka start off the match just wrestling circles around Emma. But you put her with a girl like Emma because for two reasons. You put her with Emma because you want to focus on what Asuka can bring to the table. right? And you also put her in there with someone that she has good chemistry with. If WWE allows Emma to have a good match, she's going to give you a good match. And Asuka works well with her. Now, how does Asuka work with girls that are more green? Match won't be that great. But again, you put her in there with a veteran like Emma, and she's good to go. The second reason is because you don't want to blow her on a Sasha or Alexa now, or even Nia Jax. Maybe she'll return. You don't want to blow her off in matches like that, because those are bigger matches, you know. So you can't have them as her debut match, because we have to build her up first. Personally, I thought that her debut match, she should have just came and won the title, because F everybody, and lead Team Raw into Survivor Series next month. That, I was hoping for that, but we didn't go down that route. Now, to me, the match was good. It was a good match. Was it as hard hitting as most of her matches, like, you know, the flash kicks and the flash strikes and whatnot? Not as much. It was more of a technical match, more mat based and submission based, which I'm okay with, because again, it showcased Asuka. The sad part about it to me is we're probably never going to get another match where they let Emma put in work, and we might not get another match where they let Asuka put in work. So maybe not. I'm not sure, but it's just the way that they had Asuka carry herself in this match, and Emma as well, but mainly Asuka. The way they had Asuka carry herself in this match, she just felt different than the other women on the roster. Like, she felt more dominant. She felt like more of a legitimate threat. And that's just how she carries herself. You know, there's that one time where she's holding Emma by the arm and she's just sitting there just kicking her in the face. And I'm like, oh, this girl's just a fucking beast. But I'm afraid, man. I'm afraid, because it's main roster, and even worse, it's Raw. So I'm afraid of what we're going to do here. I guess we just got to wait and see. But yeah, Asuka walked away with that one. Put that Asuka lock on that girl after the flash kick. Usually the flash kick will either just knock you out and she'll pin you, or she'll use it as a setup like she did tonight, rag you up, swing you around like a doll, grapevine her Asuka lock in, and that's GG. As soon as she had that thing in and she started toying around with her, that was GG. I would have liked to have seen her toy around with her more, but maybe they'll save that for like a Dana Brooke or something. I like to see Asuka toy around with people, because that's fun Asuka right there. What was our next match? I have the results right here. Okay, so we started off with Asuka. Miz backstage. Oh, Elias. Elias comes out to sing a song. And, of course, he's interrupted by someone throwing celery sticks at him. Jason Jordan. And I think that what they did tonight was, that right there, what they did for Jason Jordan was good booking. Because Elias knows how to get heat. Legitimate, real heat. And to have someone save the crowd from Elias, anyone that comes out in that spot is going to get a good reaction. And putting Jason Jordan in that spot was the right thing to do. He's just sitting there throwing vegetables at the guy, throwing produce at him. I thought that Elias might have just went and gone on the attack, or Jason Jordan would have. Nope, didn't. Nope, they just left. Jason Jordan left, and they ended the segment. So I was like, are they building for Monday? What are they building for? I don't know. We'll get to that. We got Brian Kendrick and Jack Gallagher versus Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann. A good, bruh. Sometimes these cruiserweights could put on very good matches, even on the main roster. And this was one of those matches, and the sad part about it is that it's going to go completely unnoticed and forgotten, I believe. I really believe that people are going to forget how good of a match we had here. Nothing that I really want to pinpoint, because it's tag team stuff, right? And since we have tag team stuff, I'll just say it's a match that you can go back and watch. The winners, which I was wrong on, was Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann. A lot of good back and forth in this match. Everybody looked good. I would say Brian Kendrick played the role that he plays, which is a smart, savvy, plan ahead wrestler. Give me a second. This is...
Pull up to the scene with my cellar messing. Pull up to the scene, but my roof gone. When I leave the scene, bet your boot gone.
All right, I'm back. And I did hear that, by the way. I'm gonna get to that. Everybody played their part. I'm gonna move along from this. It was a cruiserweight match. It was a match that really wasn't meant to do anything, but those guys went out there and overachieved, in my opinion. Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. Again, I watched this match, right? And this is probably Mickie James' best match since being on the main roster. I watched this match, and I continue to ask myself, why do people say that Alexa can't wrestle? I personally don't agree with that notion. First of all, as I was watching her entrance and watching them announce, like, it's for the the women's title, and I'm just looking at her and I'm like, she would look so weird without that title. Kind of like the same way that Charlotte looks weird without the title. She would look weird without the title because that title has just become hers at this point. And I think that she's a good leader or a good champion, especially the way she just carries herself. Now, as far as her ring work, I think that she wrestles a style that fits her. It's not too risky. There are some spots that she does where flippy shit. And it's like, it fits her. I don't see why people dislike her work. I'm watching this match trying to say, like, what do people not like about her? Is she limited? Maybe, but everybody is when it comes to WWE. What is it about her that people don't like? I don't know. Nonetheless, this was a good match. Mickie definitely put that work in for her to have a good match, and I enjoyed it. I'm a big fan. Y'all know me with Mickie James. I'm a big fan when it comes to Mickie James. Now, let me take a look. I don't know why I didn't have this up already. I'm saying rest in peace to the man, the myth, the legend, Braun Strowman. Yeah. They put that man in the... We'll get to that match. We'll get to that match. Thank you for the support, saying, wow, see, now you're going to be annoying right now. This is like, I just want to work. This is what I'm going to come to right here, right? I'm watching me on 3 screens. Are you going to put me on that screen too? Sir, let me work. Why you ain't sleep? You got school. What you shaking your head for? I never sleep. Oh, you sleep. Let me continue on. What do we get next? All right, Alexa won with the DDT after Mickie James was kind of distracted by the referee. She pulled her in, hit her head on the turnbuckle, hit her with that DDT. Mickie James did a post-match interview, pure babyface interview, and it was a good one, letting people know she's grateful for the opportunity. She's grateful for all the love that she gets and the support that she gets from the audience. And she wants you to know that she'll be back. It won't be the last time she'll be champion, and it won't be the last time that she'll get an opportunity. So there we had it. It was a good. I like that whole setup right there. Okay. We got Elias again, and he went to try to do the song again. Well, this time before he was interrupted, they actually let him go on for a while. Now, granted, they was probably trying to buy time because the card wasn't I mean, the card ain't really changed match-wise because you still had the same amount of matches. I guess they had time to fill, so you got to see Elias 3 times tonight, and for me, I'm good with it. But they finally let him sing tonight, and I'm like, yes, now he's gonna get that heat, and that crowd hated him. And again, perfect time for Jason Jordan to come in and reap the benefits. I mean, they let Elias sing 3 songs. 3. And it was torture. Absolute torture. I do want to say something about like the way the arena was mic'd up, kind of weird, because there was a lot of times in this show where the crowd, you could hear the crowd trying to react to things or trying to pop for things, but it wasn't coming across too loud. And if it feels like it didn't get turned up until the AJ and Phil Bacon match, which we'll get to, because at that point then it was like raw, you know. But I just felt like the crowd was trying to come alive, and I just felt like the mics weren't really providing them too much help. Kalisto versus Enzo Amore, and Enzo comes out sounding like he caught that gonorrhea infection that's going around the locker room. He sounded crazy. But here's another match I enjoyed. I'm still not at a match that I didn't enjoy yet. Enzo and Kalisto I enjoyed because the same reason that I liked the work that Enzo did when he lost his title, he looked dominant against a smaller guy. He's bigger than most, if not all, of the other cruiserweights, so he should carry himself as such. He's just in there, just overwhelming the smaller, faster, more athletic, better wrestler in Kalisto. Just completely outclassed. Like, just, he was nothing to Enzo. And I like that they treated it that way, as Enzo just got his title back. Did he cheat to win? Oh yeah, he poked him in his eye. We got to do something with Kalisto. Maybe cut him or something. Like, he comes out, he looks like a mix between a Great Muta and Shao Kahn. Like, he needs his own identity. Maybe rip the mask off of him. The guy, he's more interested in doing lucha things. He could do them lucha things in Chikara somewhere. Actually, he would fit in Chikara. He really would. Now, I speed blitzed through most of this card. Again, still not at a match I didn't like. AJ Styles versus the Phil Bacon. Let me take a sip for the working man. AJ Styles versus Phil Bacon. And to me, was match of the night. Simple. Real easy. Let me start it with the small negative before I get into the positive, because it's a lot more positive than negative. The negative that I have for this match is simple. It's what I talked about, what was it, yesterday or the day before? Whenever I just did my last stream. I don't know, what was it, Friday? I think it was Saturday. I think it was yesterday I did that stream, which is right here on YouTube. And that was a full-blown, like, almost 2-hour rant. No, that was a 3-hour rant. I'm sorry. But my point still stands. Especially since we got the match that we got and the finish that we got, my point definitely stands. This is not a match that should happen as a just, let's just throw it together sort of match. Or no build. Even as AJ on Talking Smack just kept saying it, like, hey, you know, we're doing it with no build, you know, no nothing behind it. Imagine if there was something behind this match and it happened on a bigger stage, say a SummerSlam or a WrestleMania. I would much rather see, just on the way WWE, the level of investment that they have in these particular guys, I would rather see them at WrestleMania than Nakamura and AJ Styles. Because to me, it feels like they have no investment whatsoever in a Nakamura. So why should I be invested? I'm not going to get invested in things that they're not making me get invested in. I'm not going to sit there and try to fight them on, you know. I'm going I'm going to let other people, the internet and the webs and all that, I'm going to let them sit there and fight that battle. Let them waste their breath. Let them feel whatever with it. I'm not going to. If they're not invested in it, I'm not going to get invested in it. It's easy. I'm not going to do it. Because that's where all the complaints come from. That's where all of the rants come from. And there's nothing you can do to change it. Hey, but we changed Daniel Bryan. The people there changed it for Daniel Bryan. But as I said in a reaction video, you can only change something if you're there. It's the only way you can change something. And that's how Daniel Bryan's was changed. Now, that's my negative. Is that it should have been on a bigger stage and it should have had build. Now, the match over-exceeded my expectations. And you guys are going to think that I'm being a dick or trolling or whatever when I say it's purely because of AJ. Let me say this. If Phil Bacon comes out as the Demon, right? First of all, why did he need to? Usually when he comes out as a demon, there's build behind it and why he's going to come out as the demon. Now walk with me on this. If he's going to come out as the demon, at the very least, wrestle as the demon. As I watch this match, and I'm watching, I'm like, this is no different than this is him. This is Finn Balor that I'm watching here. This isn't the demon wrestling. Like, there was no mannerisms like the last match he had with Bray when he came out as a demon. He had mannerisms of a different character, and he didn't have that here. It just felt like I was watching Finn Balor in paint. And also, commentary did not help his case. As they're sitting there saying, "Oh, this is when Phil," I keep wanting to say Phil Bacon. This is when Finn Balor's wrestling side meets his artistic side. What? How you gonna get this demon character over if you're gonna say it's art? And that was Corey Graves. It's art. Finn Balor's demon side is now art. So are they telling us not to buy into a demon? It's just Finn Balor being Bob Ross, an artist. And also they're like, you know, he's once he paints himself, and it's like, no, what are y'all doing to this guy? He's already bland vanilla guy. So he does something that makes him different, at least on special occasion. And commentary just dropped the ball tonight because they didn't make it feel special. A simple way in helping this guy out, along with this character, is you sell that this is not Finn Balor. This is a completely different person once he snaps into this side of himself. A spirit comes out. The demon comes out. Just a very different being. Sell me on something else besides saying it's art and that's paint. How are people supposed to buy into this guy when people are already starting to say that he's vanilla, that he's basic? People are finally starting to buy into it and understand that, you know, once you get past the entrance, ain't really much else there. Now you have commentary just not helping. What? All right. Let me give myself a brief timeout to say this. I have over 300 people in here. I would kindly appreciate it if at the very least you do, just drop a like on the video. Not asking for much. I appreciate your support. As I watch this match, and I watch AJ wrestle Finn Balor, not Demon Finn Balor, just a guy covered in paint, just an artist covered in paint. I said, man, AJ is bringing it to this young boy, which he was. AJ was dominating good 75% of this match. And when I say dominating, I don't mean carrying, because Phil did a damn good job of selling. But when I see him as the Demon, I don't want to see him selling. As a matter of fact, if you are a Demon, that's the very last thing you should be doing is selling anything. Don't sell nothing. Nothing. Don't sell nothing. At that point, you should be Undertaker. He hit you and you drop, you rise up from the dead. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Because when Undertaker came as the Undertaker character, he was that character. And he had mannerisms that went along with that character. Finn comes out as a character. He doesn't put anything with it. And commentary tonight, at the very least tonight, did not. Commentary hurt Phil more than they helped him tonight. Commentary just effed it up for me, because it's like, I'm watching it and I want to buy into it. And I'm listening, I'm like, I just wish I wasn't listening to commentary during this match. It was getting under my skin so much. And it's why I wasn't tweeting. I was tweeting on Twitter all throughout this pay-per-view, except for this match, because I was laser focused in on paying attention. And it was just pissing me off more and more. I was like, damn it, I wish I would just mute this commentary. I just want to mute it, because it's a good match that we're watching. It takes two to tango. It definitely takes two to tango. AJ bought it, and Phil did his thing. When he had his comeback spots, and they got real even on the offense, it was just a good thing to watch. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, I wish I had a reason to be invested in this match. Could you imagine if you're watching this match and there was something behind it, something on the line, anything? I'm just watching it and I'm like, just what if? What if it was just on a bigger stage, man? If this was on a bigger stage where more people could watch it, you have the opportunity to make headlines with a match like this. Definitely had an opportunity to make headlines. And I feel like it was wasted. I do want to say one thing about what AJ said on Talking Smack, which was a very good point. The match had no build and was thrown together last minute. He just got off a plane from, I think they was in like South Africa or something like that. Just flew in, puts the match together with Phil that day, goes out and wrestles that match. And now he has to fly back to wherever they are so they can prepare for SmackDown. AJ Styles is a legend. AJ Smiles. AJ Styles is going to have the shortest career, or the shortest WWE career of any WWE Hall of Famer. Wrestling Hall of Famer. He's going to be a WWE Hall of Famer with probably only about 4 or 5 WWE years under his belt. Probably less than that. He can literally go in there and on a drop of a dime give you a good match with anyone that he feels like doing it with. And 9 times out of 10 he feels like putting on a good match. The reason I said that he feels like is because that match with Jinder was iffy. But maybe if he wrestled Jinder on a pay-per-view, he would make it a better match. I want to give Phil credit for this match, but I'm not going to say that this match was good solely because of Phil. I still stand by what I said yesterday when I said, what does Phil bring to the table? Was it a good match? Yes. Was it a good match with him in it? Absolutely. But it took AJ to get a good match out of him. If we go back to his other matches, what was the last good match that he had? Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship? It's over a year ago, right? It's a long time. That's over a year ago. At some point, you got to bring it to the table. So, I stand by what I said yesterday. And I would very much so enjoy seeing this match again, either on a bigger stage or in Japan, where we could see like what Prince Devitt could do against AJ Styles. I would much rather see that, because then I know that he's going to be able to bring out a lot more. But working the WWE style, I think it's tough for him, because I know he could do more. I've seen him do more. It's just the WWE style, which AJ adapted to very well. But with Phil, it just feels basic. I just wish that they let us buy into his character tonight. They didn't do a good job with that, man. Commentary ruined that for me. Let's continue on. Oh wait, Zach Attack. Zach Attack threw a donation at my head. Did he say anything? Why did Kalisto look like Lord Zed tonight? Hey, true that, Zach. He did. Yeah, Lord Zed, just a yellow version. I wonder if he got permission from the Great Muta. I mean, he's always sucking up Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, but he comes out looking like the Great Muta. Are we gonna put the Great Muta over at some point, or nah? Just asking. All right, here's your cool down match: Jason Jordan versus Elias. Elias comes out singing again. He said, "I'm gonna sing Jason Jordan down to the ring." We interrupted that ASAP. Came down. The match didn't really, not the match. The crowd didn't help the match. They didn't want to buy in, probably because they was cooling off. This was another good. Every match on this card was good. This was another good match. It was more of a slow pace, methodical, psychology based match, and the finish didn't hurt anyone. Because when they put Jason Jordan out there and then like they're gonna have Jason Jordan against Elias, I'm like, oh God, come on, they're getting behind Elias, they're pushing him, but they're gonna put him against Jason Jordan. You're just gonna job the guy out. But no, the way that they ended the match, you had the fruit roll up, and Elias's shoulder was up pretty much the whole time, and there was a kick out, but the ref counted to 3 like well after the kick out, and I was just like, well, all right, there you go. That's how that ended. I enjoyed that match. I don't really want to focus on it too much because now we have the TLC match. Let me take a sip for the working man. My phone's going crazy, by the way. What is going on my phone? Let me see what's going on here. It's probably Discord stuff. Oh, shit. I forgot King of the Ring. Shit. I forgot about King of the Ring. King of the Ring. All right. So we have Kurt Angle, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose versus The Miz, Sheamus, Cesaro, Kane, and Braun Strowman. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, how are they going to get out of this where people don't look weak? How do you have a match where you have Braun Strowman and Kane and the Bar? How do you have them lose? Because we knew that that's where they were going. So the Shield comes out. They're hype. Crowd's hype. Real quick, one thing on production. There's certain things that's happening right now with the Shield that don't help the nostalgia part of it. One thing is struck me earlier with the interview, I think on a pre-show, where it's like Seth was just hyping up Dean and he's all excited and cheesing and, you know, just putting it all on Dean. And Dean is just dead serious, like ready to go to war. As I'm watching it, I'm like, it feels like Seth isn't buying into what the Shield represents. The Hounds of Justice, right? Shield was always straight business. No nonsense, none of that smiling mess. So as I'm watching this, I'm like, Dean still gets it, but Seth, like, what are you doing? Like, I want to buy into you being that badass ass kicker. Especially if you're about to go 3 against 5. I don't think you should be smiling, my man. Smiling is the last thing that you should do. So the Shield comes out, and this is what I mean by production. when they used to come out, the camera used to always like scan the crowd to find where they were gonna come from, like as if they never knew where they were gonna come from. And I say that because when me and Smalls went to WrestleMania, we were trying to find seats and where we thought they would come from. And then when they're coming out, we're just looking around like, where they gonna come from? Are they gonna come from that way? That way? Where they gonna come from? We didn't know where they was gonna come from. And that was part of the spectacle. But here, you know, they dropped the Shield beat and they just zoomed right to where they were gonna come from. I'm like, that takes away from the chaos and the unpredictability. Just it's small, it's very minute, it's nitpicky. But again, when you say that nostalgia acts don't work and you don't give a reason why, here I am. I'm gonna provide you reasons. It's small things that add up into a bigger picture and why you look back at something and be like, it just wasn't as good as it was before. Small little nuances add up into a bigger picture, and that's another one. Out comes Kurt Angle and he could not stop smiling. Oh God. I'm like, it's just so awkward. It was so awkward watching it. Because it's like, it's the Shield. They're badasses. And he's just cheesing. I'm like, okay, this isn't, we're not going to get the type of Shield match that we're used to. So, with that being said, if I'm going to watch a Shield match, a Shield TLC match, you have no choice but to compare it to the Shield versus Team Hell No and Ryback in that TLC match. You have to compare it. Even if it's not Roman Reigns, you still have to, in a sense. So I'm watching this match, and the first thing they do, they come to that ring, and they just start, like Seth jumps into the crowd of these guys. They start swinging chairs. They get everybody out of the ring. Now they just start wailing on Kane with the chairs. As I'm watching this, I'm like, but Glenn Jacobs is old. Why are we going to beat on this old man like this with these chairs? He's running for office and y'all wailing on this man with chairs. He's 74 years old. What are we doing with these chairs, man? Stop hitting that man. Stop. Like, why couldn't Braun Strowman be in there taking these chair shots? Speaking of Braun Strowman, we didn't get a fraction of enough Braun Strowman in this match. Not at all. None. That hurt this match for me because as I'm going into this match, I'm like, oh, this is a match where you could showcase Braun Strowman because you got weapons. Braun Strowman is walking destruction. They should book Braun Strowman as Doomsday. He should just be walking destruction. But for the most part, he was just on the outside chilling. By the way, side note, if you remember, in yesterday's stream, I said, here's part of the reason why I did not want Kurt Angle to be a part of this. You have his comeback match as a clusterfuck match. And not only that, but since it's a clusterfuck match, they're going to have Kurt Angle pull the Roman Reigns and sit majority of this match out. I told y'all they was going to do that, right? I told y'all they was going to do that, right? That was me. That was me, right? Let me ask y'all this question on a show of hands, right? Show of hands. After seeing this be Kurt Angle's return match, did y'all feel as though, in the end, did y'all feel as though this warranted Kurt Angle's return? Did y'all feel as though this should have been Kurt Angle's return match? Where he wasn't even there for about 80% of the match? Did y'all feel, or he didn't even really do much for 80%? Did y'all feel as though this is the match that Kurt Angle should have returned for? let me talk about Kurt Angle in this match. Let me talk about this. I do want to see a Kurt Angle return match, but having Kurt Angle return on this such short notice is not good. I didn't know if Andrew Wigsman. I didn't know so. I see one from Tank Top Tiger. Shout out to Tank Top Tiger, always coming through with the support, man. I appreciate you. Oh wow, I didn't even see that. Hey, my bad, Wiggs. Why they do Braun like that though? Oh, cause we get in there. I didn't know. So I mentioned that earlier, and I said we're gonna get to it. Tank Top Tiger, can we talk about how my man Braun came out and died in some new fresh Timbs though? Them hose was clean. Yeah, I peeped those. Somebody on Twitter tweeted me, like, a few people tweeted me, like, yo, he out here wrestling in some fresh Timbs, some fresh ones. Leaves is still on his Timbs right now, B. Double sole with the leather across the top. Kurt Angle needed time to prepare for a comeback match. In this match, Kurt Angle looked old. He didn't look like he had spring in his step. I just feel as though he needed time to prepare, which he didn't get. There's one thing about being in shape, and it's a whole something else about being in ring shape. Now, I didn't watch any of his matches in, what was it called? The What Culture Pro Wrestling joint. I didn't watch any of that stuff, so I don't know how his matches looked there. But here tonight, he looked old, and I was just like, man, if we would have just given Kurt time and build up so that he could prepare himself for a match, for one match, oh, he would come out and look great. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. But seeing him here, seeing him here, especially against these dudes that's like monsters, Kurt Angle looked like a little boy in there. He looked like a little boy standing next to Seth and Dean, who on paper they say that they're 6'2" and 6'3" respectively. I don't believe that. I'm 6 feet. I'm old now. I'm 49. I'm shrinking in height. I used to be 6'1". I'm 6 feet. I saw the Shield at SummerSlam fan access while we were doing interviews. Them motherfuckers are my height. They are not that tall. And by the way, Dean is taller than Roman Reigns, even though they make it look different on TV. Kurt Angle looked like he's about 5'8". I need to know Kurt Angle's height right now. Like, I need to know what his real height is. Does it look like he took too many bumps on his neck and now he looks shorter? He's like a little boy in there. Like a little boy, like somebody's uncle that's pulling up on you with flip-flops at the cookout, got the hand of spades, but don't want to let nobody else win. And he don't want to let nobody else get on. That's it. That's Kurt Angle. That was him. And he eating your watermelon. That's Kurt Angle. As far as Dean and Seth, like, this match, it was fun to watch. But to me, it was dragging a bit because the faces was just getting so much offense in. But it was a kind of offense that didn't make sense because you got 5 guys. 5 big guys against these 3. But we don't have anyone going at them. It's like they're attacking one guy and Kane. And that's it. Like, I'm like, no. Where's everybody else? They should be getting jumped on deck all the time. So, Braun was like, enough of this mess. After Kurt Angle was coming at Kane all crazy, Braun's like, enough of this. Took Kurt, picked him up, power slammed him through the table. Let's get him up out of here, coach. He's got to go. All right, Kurt's done for. And as I'm watching this, I wanted to tweet so bad that Kurt's about to pull a Roman Reigns. But the way that they were doing it, they made it seem as though he was going to tell the doctors, F off, I'm staying. But nah, they got him up out of there. So I say, yep, there's your Roman Reigns right there. He pulled the Roman. He pulled the Roman. Roman, Angle sleeping. That was Kurt. He went in the back. He took a chill pill. Probably squirted off one. He started watching on TV, kicking it with Vince or somebody. He was chilling backstage. He was doing one of these. He was doing one of them. So the heels finally got the upper hand. And they just beat on these dudes over and over and over. And this is the type of heat that I like, where it feels like the babies can't do anything. And they're beating on you, and they're taking their time doing it. They're walking around the ring. They're gloating. They've taken the crowd completely out of the match. That's the type of heat that I like. When you take the crowd out of it, because the crowd knows there's nothing that they can do about it. They can't chant for these guys and motivate. They can't do nothing. 5-on-2. And you have two guys in that 5. That's Braun Strowman and Kane. And let me say this. There's people that want to rant about Kane getting that upper hand on Braun and Kane looking like a... This is what they do with Kane. Whenever they have Kane return, they always book him like a monster. And that's always the best way to book him. Kane looks best when he comes back and he looks like he can't be touched. He plays it well. They're not that tall. He plays it... Seth 6'1", Roman 6'3". No. Seth's taller than Roman too. They might be the same height. And that, again, that's just from me seeing them visually in person. Kane plays that part very well. I kind of like the mix-up between Kane and Strowman, even though it felt like a lot of times during the beatdown, it felt like Dean and Seth wasn't even part of it anymore. They brought out the dump truck. They're going to throw them in there. They get out of it, get on top. They jump over, jump into the crowd. Then they get beat down again. Then Kane just goes after Strowman, like, because, hey, you hit me earlier. Or you pushed me earlier. Yo, Braun pushed Kane like he was a little boy. Like, he just shoved him and Kane went flying. Kane like, nah, I got you, brethren. We gonna come up on you later. Came up on him later. Chokeslam through, weak-ass chokeslam through the table. Get him out of here. Then, pulls the little gimmick so that all the chairs could fall on Braun. Get him out of here. But then when Kane sees that Braun is just getting up from it, Kane is like, what the fuck is this? I'm on SmackDown. I left Raw. What is this thing that y'all got here? This dude right here crazy. So Miz tries to get in between them from fighting. Miz takes a bump for his efforts. The Bar tries to break it up. Kane finally gets the upper hand on Braun. They stomp him out, throw him in the trash, pull the lever. I'm like, all right, they're going to stop it when it just closes on him. No, they cuffed it. I'm like, all right, they're going to stop there. No, then they brought it up. I'm like, all right, that garbage truck has to be completely gimmicked. Because, one, when you pull that gimmick over, that starts a crushing process. When you have that gimmick, like, start to, like, rotate and close in, it's really crushing. And then when you're pulling it up, it's completely crushing everything inside. So my guess is when Braun got in there, he just went up top, went over the thing, and got up out of there before they started crushing it. That's the only thing that could have saved that dude, if it wasn't already gimmicked. So that got rid of Braun. And as I'm watching this, I'm like, this would be really cool if they put focus on Miz being the IC champion. No. I need that here. If they put focus on Miz and his IC championship, but I felt like they didn't. At one point, they mentioned, like when they were coming back down to the ring, they mentioned, as I recall, Hulk Hogan was billed as 6'6", not 7 feet. At one point, they built him at 6'10", as a matter of fact. They used to say that he was 6'10" back in the day. Oh, hey, that's actually OTRS. So you should know that they actually announced him as 6'10" a few times. 6'8", maybe it was 6'8". I don't know. It was 6'8" or 6'10", one of the two. But Terry Bollea is all of about, what is he about? Like really like 6'3", 6'4". Anyway. So as I'm watching the Miz walk back down to the ring, I'm like, Miz is the ringleader of all that is going on right now. Why is he not the champion? I mean, Brock Lesnar is the champion, but why is Miz not the champion? He is the best heel on the brand. And he went through a period when he came to Raw. It was like, oh, man, this ain't the Miz that we had on SmackDown. Miz looked weak. Miz looked this. Miz looked that. Slow burn. They slow burned it, and they got him right back to where he was. Miz carries himself as he's the top guy above everyone else. No one else carries themselves on Raw. No one else carries himself as a top guy as well as Miz does. And he's leading these monsters. Everybody in this match is bigger than Miz, except for Kurt Angle's neck. Everybody in this match is bigger than Miz, but Miz is just the ringleader of all of the destruction that's going on. Miz is the one. He's the reason for all of this. He's the reason it became a 5-on-3 or a 5-on-2. He's the reason. He's the brains behind all of this. And if we can't get a monster as a champion that destroys shit, the walking doomsday and Braun Strowman, then why can't we have a smart champion that knows how to get heat, that's ready for the opportunity? When Miz was the WWE champion back in the day, clearly he wasn't ready. But if we could flip-flop times now, people would accept him as champion way more now than they ever have. Way more now, because there's so many layers to him. But on the flip side, if you look at Dean and Seth, I've been saying this since they won the titles. They should not be the champions right now. And tonight made it even more worthwhile because they're baby faces. They're fighting underneath. Imagine that they're fighting underneath and they're not champions. Imagine you come into the ring. We have the Miz as the IC champion, the Bar as the tag team champions, and then you got Kane and Braun. Hello? And all you have with the Shield is broken neck Kurt Angle. Broken neck Kurt Angle. And Dean and Seth, who's fighting to try to get to that level. And then you go through this match where they get completely decimated. That should be a part of the chase. But they're not chasing anything because they're already champions. Like I said, the match was entertaining to watch. At times it dragged, and at times it felt empty. I do like how they started, the turn in which Strowman and Kane started going at each other. I liked it. I liked the match. It's just some elements of it I would change going into it. And this should not have been Kurt Angle's comeback match. Just like AJ and Phil Bacon should not have happened tonight either. Granted, it turned out to be a good match, but it should have been saved for something else. And you could have put somebody else in that spot with Phil. You could have put, instead of having Elias and Jason Jordan together in their match, put Elias there with Phil. Use the talent that you got. It ain't Elias' fault that he's not a big star like AJ. That's WWE's fault, not Elias' fault. Then, peep this. Kurt Angle comes out. He has to leave. Instead of bringing Kurt back, send out Jason Jordan. Or send out Kurt with Jason Jordan. Now we got something for Jason Jordan to do. Just a suggestion. Just a suggestion. Because we were at the point in that match where if Roman Reigns would have came out, the roof would have blown off that place. 100%. 100% sure. That's how much heat. That's how much heat they had on that match. That's how much heat they had on that match. That if Roman would have came out, that place would have erupted. Kurt's music hits. I like the way he came out. Just threw Sheamus. Who was it? I think he threw Cesaro. Just threw him. Then he hits Sheamus with the Olympic Slam. Then Cesaro with the Olympic Slam through the table. They come in. They jump the Miz because they took out Kane. They jump the Miz. Everybody hits their finishers. Then we get the triple power bomb. They let Kurt get the pin. 1, 2, 3. GG. We're done here. Like I said, overall from a match standpoint, I enjoyed every match on this show. But the question that I have to you is simple. Because I'm not a hypocritical person when it comes down to it. Is any of this stuff going to matter on Monday? Is any of this stuff going to matter in 2 weeks or a month from now? The answer is likely going to be no. That's the problem in WWE. Nothing matters the next day. So you can like the matches all you want, but we're not going to pretend that they're the right thing to do. Because in about 2 months, you'll be complaining that WWE sucks. And one of the main reasons is because they don't give you anything to work with. They give you no storylines to build off of, and the storylines that they do give you is crap. And there's no longevity behind it. There's no good booking behind it. But just remember that you made it okay when you were just so googly-eyed over Kurt Angle's return match and AJ going against Phil with no build-up. Just keep in mind how googly-eyed you were about that, because that allows them to say, well, they popped for that and we didn't even have to build nothing. Why should we have to build anything for anything else? Which is already how they approach things. So, I'm going to end off this show with that. Real quick, I want to thank Tank Top Tiger, longtime supporter. Zack Attack, another longtime supporter. M Sing, another longtime supporter. And A-Wigs, thank you guys for all the support. That's all for me tonight. What was that? Just under an hour? I'm going to go on ahead and F off now. Y'all have a good night. How do I end this stream? Like that? Like that? By the way, the OTR Essential, I see you in that chat. Hey, we got to link up and do something together. Or I could just react to another one of your videos.